Episode 322, I guess?
You've got to throw some cold water on this situation. Start talking about nerd stuff.
You know, nerd culture is mainstream now, so when you use the word nerd derogatorily, it means you're the one that's out of the zeitgeist.
System activate.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. It's a tech podcast. But we are a ton cooler than your typical geek.
You guys rock.
And now, here's Will and Trent.
Well, I'm at a little disadvantage, but that's okay. I can deal with it. Welcome, everybody. Another edition of NetHeads. Hope I didn't just talk over the announcer. My name is Will. Welcome. Sans Trent tonight. He is on assignment. I always love that bullshit reason to claim where somebody is, but he's doing his own thing, and I'm doing mine. But the good news is I'm not just rocking this solo. I'm not alone. Hey, Zach and Kevin Conroy joining in. Welcome, guys. If you want to take part in the program, you can. One of the many ways is Twitter, hashtag NetHeads. If you go to the YouTube, however, if you're watching this live, or the Facebook, I'll see your comments much easier, actually, than hashtag NetHeads. I feel like a traitor. Now, folks, like I said, I'm not going this alone, because the sound of one man talking is almost as bad as the sound of one hand clapping. So, we're not doing that right now. Instead, I want to welcome a return guest in this case. It is not his occupation. It is not his habit. It is actually his surname. Welcome once again, Mr. Brian Stoner. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you, Will?
I'm flustered because for some reason I am not hearing everything right now, which nobody wants to hear about. I'll go on. I just know that usually I can hear my audio cues and they sound wonderful. Today I'm not hearing a thing, but that's okay.
Well, I heard it and you didn't talk over the announcer, so you did good.
Oh, okay, good. I mean, technically I should be the announcer, but there's that guy with the gravelly voice making us sound much cooler than we are.
Right, no.
And he's a great guy. But if you're wondering why there is some disarray, it is because I got to tell you something, Brian. I have been blissfully ignorant in this world, around the world of we'll just call them content creators, right? I mean, I have long understood the concept that content creation in itself is not easy, but you hear all the stories about like Ninja or well, you know what? It doesn't matter. Any old content creator, no matter what platform they're on, and they make all kinds of money, and you want to get bitter and you want to get angry. But then you have to come to respect the people that actually make a living doing it when you look at the complexities around doing it properly. For example, what I was just about to say is that I have understood for the longest time now that even though NetHeads is a podcast and it is a product, it's a YouTube product as well, but it's not just a thing, right? It's a multi-hyphenate in itself, and in today's internet, your right hand is making the autofocus on your camera go all a little spastic. Well, thanks for letting me know, Zach. I'll keep my hands to myself. I don't know what to do with my hands now.
Zach with the constant QA.
Yeah, he helps. He's very helpful.
He is.
I don't even know why it's autofocusing. But again, we'll get there in a second. So I realized, though, that in order to survive in the modern age, you need to diversify. You need to be multi-platform. You need to do all these things. And so as I've been exploring other platforms and trying to understand how to use them to your benefit, how to have a presence on them, the people that are full-time content creators, I have nothing for respect for. And I say this because I have been down a journey in the past day and a half, 2 days. Actually, it started out Monday, and it has continued since then. And it's one you actually are working down too. Part of the reason why our good friend Brian here is on is because he is beginning to venture out into the world of Twitch, correct?
This is true. Yes.
What's your Twitch handle, man?
Disco D _83.
Yes, make it very easy for them to find. But actually, you can. So that's Disco D, Disco and the letter D _83 on Twitch. You can please give him a follow. I really appreciate that.
That would be great.
At the minimum, right? Yeah, because you're just starting out. You're not pulling any tricks or taking advantage or exploiting anything to hack your way into the affiliate system like I did. So good on you. But Monday started off nasty. Now, for anybody that does this kind of stuff, you understand that there are certain things you set up, certain technologies that you need to have in order to kind of pull off the things that we do. And I went a little bit above the required needs in order, because it's what I thought I needed to do. I got a Elgato Camlink 4K. I was using a 1080p Sony Handycam to go out to that. And on Monday, suddenly my camera stopped working. And I didn't know, is it the Camlink? Is it the camcorder itself? What I was able to determine is actually it was an HDMI cable that has been just fine all this time suddenly died. Have you had cables just go bad? I haven't had that happen lately.
No, not an HDMI ever. I mean, I've had some cables go bad. Usually it's power or something like that. But yeah, HDMI, I've never had one go bad.
Well, I think part of the reason why is because I never turned the camcorder off. So I think that's one of the reasons why.
Probably part of it.
And so it was constantly running signal through there and something just burnt up.
Yeah.
I think the other reason why is because who knows how long I have had that HDMI cable in use. I don't.
Right.
And so, it could be a really old one. I don't remember. I didn't see anything on it that said it was high speed. So I've probably been burning copper for a while now. But it was an interesting lesson, especially in having to take a step back. Many times when you're dealing with a technical issue, it's frustrating because you have to go through certain steps to figure out what is wrong. And that's how I finally came to the point where I think it is the cable, but I still had to wait for another cable to be delivered. But that forced me to take a step back, not only in the testing, but kind of look at what I've got going on here, because I'm pushing way too many things through one PC. We're pushing this show out. I got my angle, I got a monitor here, your angle. For some reason, I've even got a camera on the stupid little robot. And so I'm making things way more complex than I need to, including like how the camera was set up. Oh, look at him. He's moving around now. Hey, buddy, how you doing? I don't know if you've noticed, Brian, but I painted him to look like, or with Iron Man, in an Iron Man theme.
I did see that TikTok. I was a big fan of that.
Yeah, that was terrifying. I'm like, let me take apart what was a $200 robot, and now could easily go for used $400 until they start making more of them.
Right.
Which it really would have been a good thing to know before I gave one away. But whatever. So I was pushing with the camcorder and everything. I was going really complex. But even right now, I've got 3 USB cameras now hooked up to this computer, because that's how you're able to see me on an angle nobody sees, the camera everyone sees here, and vector. And even before this show started, it was the last second, okay, let's fire everything up. And I had to add another camera because I'm like, well, Brian won't be able to see me if I don't do this. And sure enough, it was too much juice going through one USB hub, because why not have a USB hub on top of all this?
Right.
Anyway, that caused me to reevaluate kind of everything I was doing. One, because the camera itself looks pretty darn good. I forgot how good the C920 by Logitech looks. Even
That's what I'm running to right now.
And folks, you're like, oh, but maybe I need one of them fancy 4K things. No, because nobody is going to be streaming at 4K. For all I know, I'm screwing everything up right now, going out at 1080p because I forgot to check those settings, which means the audio is going to be out of sync. Fuck my life. But anyway, it's okay. We can overcome this. But in looking back at it and seeing how well this camera looked, I'm like, oh, well, what else am I not doing? And that's kind of why today I, after work, started taking a look at how I was setting up. And I was getting jealous because you were telling me all the cool things you were doing to gear up, right?
Right.
Because you got the, I have an Elgato Stream Deck. Now you have an
Yep.
Elgato Stream Deck. I have a C920 camera I'm using. You have a C920 camera you're using.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, oh yeah, my buddy at Twitch gave me all this advice. Check out my cool new stuff. And I'm like, oh wow, that looks so much better than what I do.
Yeah, I've got the insider track. I'm getting lots of good information, which of course I'm more than happy to share. But yeah, it's been a lot of learning curve for me too, because I was overwhelmed at the idea of it. And then as you slowly start to piece it together, it's really not that bad. And like you're saying, it doesn't take $1 million to do it. You can, you can just maybe $300 worth of gear and you're up and running, minus the PC, of course.
Kevin Conroy on Twitter or on the Facebook is pointing out I don't have to worry about sync right now with me. So if you want to go put on a mask real quick, I'd appreciate. I'm kidding. By the way, Brian. It's been God. There's so much cool stuff that we can talk about too that I realized just now. But you and I did a show 2 episodes ago. God damn it, he is right. That thing is just going. It looks like my cameraman is drunk. Is what's happening. Anyway, oh good, it did let me get to, let's turn off that autofocus. There we go, save. Now we should be just fine as long as it still works. Yay, good. Yeah, the interesting thing when I was testing out the camera, by the way, and trying to determine the cable, the thing is I still had an adapter to go from an HDMI mini to an HDMI, so that way I could hook a regular cable up to it. This nerdy shit. And in doing so, the picture that I was getting when I hooked the cam link back up, I was getting a weird strobing, like a weird delay. And it's just like, no, I'm not getting it with the web camera. So why would I go down this route? What has changed mystically and magically? And the real answer is absolutely nothing. So just use the C920. But in earlier, I did something stupid as well, which was not knowing the product I'm using well enough. So I went ahead and I started following your lead and taking some tips from you and building out what's going to be the new Twitch presence that we have. Now, for those of you trying to keep up, first of all, I've completely rebranded myself online as That Will Wilkins. Not because I'm trying to copy Kevin, but it was either That Will Wilkins or The Will Wilkins, or some other Will Wilkins, 71, at which point I'm giving away my birth year and giving you part of my, I guess I shouldn't have said that here either. Anyway, so I did that, and now we're starting to do different things, because before I was very single lane thinking. It's like, oh, well, NetHeads, get the podcast out there, brand everything NetHeads. You're NetHead WW, and nobody could say the goddamn name right. So that was one problem. And then I realized, you know what? No, the Twitch thing can be its own thing, just like the YouTube here can be its own thing, and all that jazz. So I was excited to get the new Twitch thing set up, and I thought I had it figured out. And, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to need this scene anymore, So I had to recreate almost everything that we do in studio for NetHeads like a putz. So it's been a very fun afternoon, but how has your experience been setting it up? What are you trying to do? That's where I'm getting.
So basically forever I've been threatening with, people have been telling me you got to do an open mic night at a comedy club or something. You're too funny of a dude to not do that. Or, you got to do a podcast, you got to do this, blah, blah, blah. And my friend that works for Twitch was like, yeah, you can just do that all on Twitch. Just whatever you want. You can tell jokes, you can tell stories, you can play games. You've been playing games for 25 plus years. He's like, why not just and I'm like, great, I can fail all at once. Just
Yeah, exactly.
all of those things, just get them done and over with real quick.
Well, if it'll make you feel any better, tonight we're failing at 3 different things: YouTube, Facebook, and even going out on Periscope/Twitter. So I'm already. My whole thing is, I'm like, hey Brian, do you want a podcast? Because I figure, this guy has got to he's probably eager to figure out how to just talk on camera. So I can probably take advantage of him here and get back to recording weekly podcasts.
Absolutely, yes.
Which, by the way, I'd like to interrupt you one more time just to thank Trent. He is not gone. Please, I'm not. Let me preface this. Trent's not gone, but I want to thank him for being a co-host for more than 10 years. Because with this whole realization of what content creators have to do in order to sustain themselves, right? You got to figure, they've got to figure out ways to monetize. And part of that does involve asking for subscribers or maybe asking for tips or whatever. Because if you develop a following and each person were to give you just $1, then it's one of those numbers. So like, let's say you had 20,000 followers, that could be $20,000. Get them to subscribe for $1, and that's $20,000 a year. So
yeah,
where the hell was I going with this?
You were thanking Trent.
Oh, so I realize how thankful I need to be for what he has done, because he has given of his time with no expectation of remuneration at all. So thank you for giving me 10 years of free labor. Here's the new sucker.
Yeah, and I don't know if I should be thanking Trent for letting me, fill in every once in a while, or if Trent should be thanking me for being the meat shield every once in a while and give him a break from you. But
yeah,
one way
exactly.
or the other, someone's getting thanked.
Yeah, because I'm officially at the point where, I can't sit back and just not obviously be a call for attention. Lately, and this is how we'll segue. But let's just so you're trying to accomplish all those things through a Twitch channel is what you're going to be doing, which is great because it is true. You can do whatever you want, or you can do a hybrid of things. You're like, I'm going to spend 30 minutes. I'm going to spend 30 minutes talking to people that happen by and, just try and be entertaining. Then I can switch to doing some gaming, and then I can come back to talking, and then, I can just fuck off. Or, you get to a certain point, Twitch, you can also start doing watch-alongs with things that are on Amazon Prime. It's not just a channel for gamers anymore, or a venue for them.
Very true. Very true.
So I applaud you, and I look forward to it, which brings me to my next subject. One of the things that I have set up, and you know what? Since we're talking about remuneration or payment or compensation is probably a much better term, I'm going to make you a deal if you go for this. Okay, so I want you to hear my words, consider them carefully. You don't need to give me an answer today.
Okay.
But I have been threatening now for a while to say that I'm going to play Animal Crossing. And I'm not going to do it until I do it on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/thatwillwilkins. Branding. I'm the product now. What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
So we're just going to change the name of the show to It's Will. I'm kidding.
Lean into it.
Yeah, why not, man? Right? It's just right now my wife has officially said this has become unlistenable because it's the same, officially a podcast of the same bullshit I deal with all the time. Sorry, honey. Twitch thing, what was I talking about again?
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing. I was threatening I was going to do that on the Twitch channel, and I've officially got everything now set up to do that. But, Brian, I don't want to start out stupid. I don't want to make myself look dumb. So, would you be my Sherpa into the crossing of animals?
I can be your Qui-Gon. I can do that.
Okay, I appreciate that. I will be your Padawan. Okay, we'll go with your line of metaphorical speak. I'll happily be your Padawan, just so that way I know in doing this I can get it started. And Now I've got everything so dialed in. It's just a number of scenes that I set up to click over to you, and just like an extra 10 minutes of time if I want to give you some pretty disco D_83 lower thirds, as I made it abundantly clear, because if you're watching the video, I've got mine adjusted to all the new branding. Took like 10 minutes, you lazy bitch. Anyway. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you. I appreciate that. And to help compensate you for that, I am going to give you a version of, I'm going to send you a new one. This brings me to another point, completely unrelated, and I'm sorry you have fallen into what we must think of simply as the Segue Cyclone. Interestingly enough, different first consonants in there, but still alliterative. I'll take it.
Very much so, yeah.
I will send you one of these USB 3 based capture cards, so that way you can hook a console up through HDMI.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be perfect.
I'm saying that because it's working well and it was dirt cheap. Don't be mistaken. This isn't true generosity. Zach says, no problem, Will. That bridge crumbled long ago. Thank you. Segue Cyclone for the win. Thank you. I agree. Look, there are certain things that happen, certain things that have now become constants that are very frustrating to me. One of them is that now I'll get so into talking about something that I forget what else I was talking about, especially when I'm behind one of these, or if I try to remember a celebrity name, perhaps a city name. Any specific detail somehow becomes diffused in my brain because of the pop filter in front of my face. Maybe it's the carbon monoxide bouncing back. I don't know. Wait, we expel yeah, it's monoxide. Dioxide kills us. Woo!
Close. That was close. You almost killed yourself.
No more afternoon coffee. So I accept that. But there's another thing, too, that I realized the other day. And I should have been made very clear about this because I've seen observational reaction from my wife and from my eldest daughter. But for some reason, if you put me in a drive-thru or on the phone ordering food, I become an absolute idiot. It is just, Brian, it's absurd. I'm going to play back for you the exact conversation I had. Now, mind you, this is the way the conversation should have gone. What I should have said was, hi, I would like to order 2 vegetarian super burritos, dry, and I would like to have a large order of chips with a side of salsa, meaning you would get a nice bag of chips and a nice container of salsa rather than a small container of salsa, because it's a local restaurant that we love and we want to support, and they're taking all the precautions. So, you know what? Every once in a while, what the hell? But obviously, I've made it very clear. Okay, all I had to say was, "Hi, I'd like 2 super burritos, vegetarian, dry, and a large bag of chips and salsa." Simple enough, correct? Ring, ring, Casina Medina. Hi, can I get 2 burritos without meat and dry? Those are not wet. Also, I mean, seriously, what the hell?
See, I thought you were going to go somewhere different with this, because I embarrass my kids and my wife at the drive-thru and stuff all the time, but not because I forget how to speak like a human being. What my favorite thing to do is I go to the drive-thru and I just wait for it to happen. Well, when you get to that window where they give you the food, occasionally they'll hand you some extra napkins or extra condiments of some sort. And if it's a woman that does this to me every single time without fail, I always say, "Oh, I'm married," and then just wait. And the wife and the kids absolutely hate it, but I think it's hilarious, and that's really, I'm an audience of one. But just to see the look on some 17-year-old girl's face, that, no, oh, I'm sorry, I'm married. And they're like, "It's just napkins." Like, my wife's right there. Can you please calm down, ma'am? Please.
I'm going to have
You're
to
making a
ask you.
scene.
My children are in the back. I'm flattered, but please.
And then if we go to a Mexican restaurant, I do know about 6 words of Spanish, and I will work those into every conversation I have, no matter how, whatever it is. I will make sure I get that in there. And then the rest of it I'll order in English because I'm an idiot and I don't know how to speak Spanish. But, I will work in whatever I can as quickly as possible.
Or you could just like go flat out all at once, like, Hola, me llamo es Will. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca y mi lápiz es rojo y grande? Because for some reason I had to memorize my pencil is large and red in Spanish 1.
Yeah.
So
You got to make sure you get pencil right or things get real awkward real quick.
well, no, that's the point. It's kind of a double entendre kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we all have those things. Like my daughter says, I'm hungry. Says, oh, nice to meet you, hungry. My name is Will. Hates that. Wants to kill me every time. Now, but I always look at her and say, one day you will miss this. And,
It's true.
I'm like, one day you're going to think about this and it's going to make you cry. And then I'm like, wow, that got dark really quick.
Yeah. See, I get it from my grandparents. My grandparents were extremely quick-witted and had no filter whatsoever. So I took care of my grandma till she passed away, and at 68 years old in a wheelchair, I would constantly be like, are you coming? Because she was slow because she was in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
And she always answered with, no, I'm just breathing hard. And that's a little awkward when you're at the fabric section of Walmart.
But also very on point. Very on point.
No, yeah. That's how I was raised, so I'm used to it. And my kids, I think, are getting to the point where they're used to it too.
Awesome, man. Well, it is tolerance. I mean, my wife like pointed out, hey, do you realize we've been together 30 years this year? I'm like, wow. And you haven't left yet.
Right. What's wrong with her? I mean,
no,
she's broken, Will. That's what it is.
A glutton for punishment is what it is. That's all I can figure. My wife is a masochist. So, Brian, I have to admit that other than talking about things that have broken around here, I don't have a whole lot of tech to talk about. So
I got tech.
I'm glad because I didn't prepare anything. I'm like, hey, honey, do you mind if I record a podcast with Brian? She says, no, not at all. What are you going to talk about? I'm like, nothing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's I actually just was on Instagram before we started, and there was one of those pop-up ads that I've fallen victim to a million times in quarantine. But this was a little bit different. So I know you're a big fan of the Vector. Have you seen this new emo robot?
No, emo bot? What is this?
So it looks a lot like Vector, but he stands on 2 legs. He wears headphones. He's bigger than Vector. Their Kickstarter is getting ready to go up. And so I signed up to be able to buy it day one for like $125. But it's like the upgrade to Vector. I don't know if it'll talk to Vector. In the YouTube video, they had a little exchange between Vector and Emobot.
What is this? See, now I don't care anything about what you have to say. Googles? Yeah, exactly. Let's break the show further. What, Emobot?
Yes, Emo Robot.
Emo Robot.
I also tagged
Eureka?
you in the Instagram post, if that helps at all.
Hey, it's funny you mentioned that. People are watching me Google now. You're talking. They're sitting me watching me on it. Anyway. Sorry. Never mind. It didn't remind me about anything. I forgot.
I'm going to try to keep this. I'm the Mark Bernard into your Kevin Smith. I'm going to try to keep us on the track here. We're going to get there. But
well, my problem is too. This was my fatal error. Is it just? Am I looking at the wrong thing, or does this look like E.T.?
This one doesn't look like E.T.
Yeah. Okay. I'll have to search it out. You tag me on the Instagram.
Can I send you a link in chat?
Without
breaking everything?
No, don't worry about it, man. It'll screw. Okay. It'll just. Why do you want to bring down the internet, Brian?
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Calm down.
You're right.
Sorry, I was going to say, you'd tell me, I tagged you on the Instagram, and here I am completely clueless on how to properly leverage social media. And tonight was the first night I awkwardly came up with a way to say, hey, if you're seeing this now, I'm live here. Check it out. But I also have to remember to go back and delete all that crap once we're done. But
Sure.
it was an interesting experience that I actually made you witness. I'm like, here, this is what they say we got to do now. So
Yes.
I'm going to
But
do this. Oh, but I realized I forgot to put on the mask for that.
uh-oh, you're breaking your brand.
They'll come. You know what? Here's the thing. I'm going to wear the mask when I want to wear the mask, but clearly nobody in the country gives a goddamn.
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi's out getting her hair done, as we all
let's
know.
not get into the. I don't want to get into the straight up politics.
No, I don't
I'm just
either. I'm
speaking
just
to
kidding.
everybody who's like, I don't want to wear a mask. It's infringing on my freedom, and I'm like, what, to die? Come on, man. But
Yeah.
yeah. So, sorry, I didn't mean to get all rageful there, but I'm just like, I'm really tired of appearing on social media wearing a mask. But I tweeted about this earlier. Came to the realization yesterday that back in April 29th, I made this quaint little tweet about how the one website people were using at the time for a general metric on how bad it's going to get. And they're like, by August 1st or 3rd, it'll be 72,000 dead. And I'm like, wow. Here we are 4 months later. Halloween, I didn't say this in the tweet, but generally, Halloween's going to be canceled. Christmas is going to suck because you're not going to be seeing family and everything else. And that number has more than doubled in the actual deaths. So that pisses me off because if wearing a mask could have been the one thing that would have kept us at that number, that really bums me the hell out. But then it said the new projected number was over 300,000 by December 1st, which really bummed me out because that's like almost 5 times the number of people in my town. Because I don't know why my mind works this way, and this is the way I process them. But just imagine the entire town getting sick and then dying, and then other people move in, and this happens 4 more frickin' times.
Yeah. It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
Anyway, I'm excited to look at Emobot later.
Yeah, all I really had for that was he charges by standing on a skateboard, which I thought was cool. And he comes with a smart light that you can like plug in like a night light, and when like your alarm goes off that he does for you, you can be like, hey, turn on the light, and he'll turn on that light wherever it is in the house, kind of a thing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's some cool functions. He's got over 1,000 facial expressions, and like special ones for like the holidays. He'll change it to like where he's got a Santa beard and stuff when it comes time for Christmas. And
Oh, that's nice. Vector used to have holidays, but now I think he looks more like an emo bot right now. He's just got his eyes closed.
I don't think that name Emobot's gonna last.
Probably not. But I definitely
around.
got to check that out. You got any other good stuff for us? Because all I'm going to do is sit here and complain. I mean, look, I can say that the inexpensive additional controller I got for the Nintendo Switch works great. It wasn't a lot of money. Pairs right up. It's rechargeable. That was a good experience. Yay.
Yeah. That's a win.
Yeah. If only I could read the name and I
Right.
could recommend it. It's a good thing I'm not.
I can't with any other console. I don't mind third-party stuff, but with Nintendo, I will not buy anything that's not Nintendo, and it ends up. But everything through Nintendo is $1 million. Like if you want an extra Joy-Con set or whatever, it's going to cost you like $80.
Yeah, this thing was like, I don't know, somewhere between 19 and 25. If I know the way I spend money.
That's yeah. That's why we have 2 or 4. I think we only have 2 sets of controllers for the Switch.
And why none of my children are going to get their college graduation or college tuition paid for.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, they weren't going that way anyways, but
My wife just messaged me. We have a new Pembroke corgi, and my wife just informed me that he just woke up and then promptly pissed on the floor. Didn't even give a chance. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that.
Winston.
Oh, it is I think Trent actually yesterday summed this up best when he said to me, because he had asked, apparently there was a Apple versus Android transmission issue because I had sent him a bunch of images and he didn't get them. And he's like, Winston pics, please. Little did he know I call my member Winston. No. He said, man, puppies are the best. Don't get me wrong. They're the worst, too. But their best outweighs all, which is generally true.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, let's see. Do I have any other tech stuff?
Wait a minute, Brian. Are you a person that doesn't like dogs?
No, I like dogs. Just
thank
fine.
God. I don't trust anybody that doesn't like dogs.
No. I mean, I love all animals except for sea monsters.
What are you doing?
And...
What are you doing?
Hello.
You don't know Brian, but hi, everybody. This is my daughter, Blair. Okay, that's the most you're going to see of her here out in the open. Hey, honey, what's up? Is everything okay? Or are you just coming to tell me what Mommy told me about what Winston did? Yes, I know. Thank you. I got the update. That's a bummer, huh?
Breaking news.
I'm going to have to clean it up, too. So it's going to great. And Yuki was great. Yes, because dogs do that. They have to tell the other dog proper social etiquette. So they have to growl or bark or the like in order for the other dog to learn what's good behavior and what's bad behavior. Right? Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your reminders.
You're welcome for your reminders. Okay. Wow.
Amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth wall
guest.
the fourth wall is officially doesn't exist anymore. There's nothing holding anyone back now. It used to be that door being closed during podcasting was sacred, man. Sacred.
Yeah. No.
Well, what's the other tech news? Sorry.
Oh, let's see here. Oh, it's not good tech news, but I had a through all of this testing we've been doing and trying new things and hooking up new hardware, and my video card was like, hey, there's a new driver. And I'm like, perfect. So went ahead and installed that bad boy. And then after 3 hours of blue screens of death, I finally got it back up and running. But I'm not exactly sure why AMD can't figure out drivers after being in the business for as long as they have. But luckily it was a known issue, so I can't blame myself.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. That's one of those things that there are two terms that put fear in my heart. The first is driver update, and the second is firmware update.
Yes.
Those are the two things that put deep fear in my heart. And like today, I think actually the Stream Deck, one of the very things I'm using right now by Elgato. By the way, if you're a program that I'm going to be using, please realize the common user is now extremely dense. So if I need to open the Stream Deck software, and I'm old school still, and I actually click the Windows menu instead of just hitting the little search bar next to it to type out what you're looking for, because for some reason 25 clicks is easier than going STR for myself. Make the folder name the goddamn application name, because most of the time I'm not going to remember, oh, it's an Elgato.
Right.
You know what I mean? Come on, man.
Yeah, that's an interesting little tool, that Stream Deck, though. I'm having a lot of fun screwing with that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It is really dope. Like what I set up today. By the way, folks, if you've been thinking about doing this, or you feel like what it really boils down to, okay, is if you feel that you have a story to tell, whatever that story is, okay, it could just be you think you want to get out your random thoughts of the day on video. You could do that. If you want to talk about the news, you can do that. If you just want to get your voice out there for any reason whatsoever, and you thought, oh, I also like to play video games, or I just like chatting, or whatever, you could very easily do this on Twitch and look really goddamn good doing it without really knowing a whole hell of a lot. I was able to completely re-engineer things in here to where I've got this set up to stream out. I got the, semi-fancy graphic right there. But, even more stuff for the Twitch stream. But I've also been able to set up different scene collections and different profiles. So now I can use the one piece of software. And when I'm doing NetHeads, I got a NetHeads profile. When I'm doing a Will Wilkins thing, I got a profile for that. where I'm going with this is that the Stream Deck works so well with itself. You can set up a button to where I can now go either to what is called my Twitch profile for Stream Deck to control it properly, or my, well, it's a rant one, and I'm not really going to talk about that right now. But on each one of my profile pages now, for each different profile, I've set up a button to switch back to the other one if I need be. So yeah, it's an interesting tool. You can also set it up to activate voice changing effects for you, depending on how you have things, engineered and rigged, if you will.
Yep. Yeah, I got me a couple different voices, and I set it up to switch do all my transitions and everything for me. And I like the way, like, I have my first button like sends out a tweet, and then there's a delay, and then kicks over to the countdown screen, delay. Like, I like how you can stack stuff in there with one. I mean, I've been using macros for a long time, and I know that's basically all it is, but it's a pretty cool interface. I like it. It's a neat little tool.
The thing is, it is just generally cool anytime you set up any type of macro that works. And I think the earliest time I can remember setting up a macro myself and seeing the benefit of it, and this in no way was a benefit because I lost so many damn hours of my life, but being to set up a macro on my warrior in EverQuest to be able to do, like, if I'm going to be the tank for a big mob, so a big baddie, they need to do things to keep the attention focused on one guy while everyone else tries to kill the beast. Boy, oh boy, what a great bedtime story, Will. But seeing that macro work to where all you have to do is now systemically hit if you just have to have a cadence, and you have to say, I'm going to hit this button here, then this button here, and then this button here, wash, rinse, repeat, and seeing it all just play out is real fun. Hello, the kid 911 watching us on YouTube. So nice to see you. Thank you for joining. Anyway, so yeah, it really is it's a fancy tool. Like, I don't even, when I start the show and I play the audio drops that I can't even hear right now. When I do that, the Elgato allows me to do that because these sounds are actually mapped to the keyboard on a specific computer. So I can hit that system, and I can switch to your angle or vector or anything else I want. And all the while, I can also play a sound, like the Doctor Who theme, which I still can't hear. Yeah, we'll come back to that later. Anyway.
I heard it. That's all that matters.
I guess I'm flying blind the rest of the show, brother. Speaking of which, man, I got to admit, we got started really late, and I didn't mean for us to have to wrap up so damn quick, but I'm afraid the night is done, man.
Yeah. Well, there's always another day. We'll do it again.
Yeah. The kid asking why I'm wearing a mask even though I'm in the house, because I'm trying to make a statement and normalize the appearance of wearing a mask because I think it's one of the things that will help save us or save more lives. It's just my opinion. It's not a political thing, but that's the reason why. Thank you very much. Good night. Anyway, Brian, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Remember, folks, if you go to twitch.tv/discod_83, give the man a follow. You won't be disappointed. You can see how he goes running in to the world of Twitch and streaming and doing his own thing. And thank you for agreeing in advance to helping me in starting the Animal Crossing experience, which we'll be doing very, very soon.
I'm excited about it.
And thanks for staying up late with me, man. I appreciate it.
You bet. Always willing.
I'm not going to cuddle you afterwards, damn it.
That's all right. I'll
also, was there anything else you wanted to plug before we go? I should make sure of that.
No.
Cool. Well, that was easy enough.
Yeah, right.
Look forward to sharing more information with you guys about my new puppy, Winston. That'll be forthcoming, I'm sure. Remember, on almost all the socials, I'm that Will Wilkins. Give me a follow. You can see information there. It'll be fun. We're having fun. That's what it's all about. And I thank you so much for watching live, for listening on the podcast, for participating in any way you can, including our patrons who are the ones that support us and help us to be able to get the tools we need to do this. So thank you to those guys especially. My Patreon supporters are some of my best and favorite people, and it's okay, Brian. I understand. Don't worry.
I get it. Message received.
No judgment. No, please. That was officially extortion. Don't fall for that. Anyway, folks, until next time, my name is Will.
I'm Brian.
And we'll be back. And then you say soon.
Soon.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. Signing off. I know, right? But stop being a little Nancy and deal with it. NetHeads. NetHeads. We'll be back soon.
Goodbye.
This has been a production of Smodco Internet Radio. Sir, only at smodcast.com.
Oh, thank God I figured it out. Because I was a dummy and I wasn't listening on main. Oh, technologies. You fabulous scamps.